Hello and welcome to whatever episode this is. Coming to you a little out of order because I was planning on recording yesterday, which was Monday, because I was away for the weekend. But we had a meeting in Odense, which is, if you don't know, it's a different part of the country, and we didn't get back to my office until 4:45 or something. So I didn't get home until 6:30. Oh, sorry, 5:30. And all day meetings just, they're so tedious, and the room was too warm, and I just wanted to spend time with you guys instead. Mostly because it meant being at home and not being miles from home. So yeah, even though I had planned to record yesterday, you would have seen me going throughout all of it, more so than usual. So instead you got me on a Tuesday. I worked from home today, so I got up at 6:30. No, I don't know why I want to say 6:30 and all the time 5:30. And started working 5:45. So that means I am now done with work for the day. Yeah, and I thought I'd just record and then I have to run out real quick and I can just put on comfy clothes. Well, put my comfy clothes back on and just lounge about all evening. So, let's talk sewing first, because I'm wearing the finished Subtly. It's a Megan Nielsen pattern. I feel odd saying Nielsen, which I think is how she pronounces it, because it's my name, last name too. It's Nielsen. But she's Australian, so we'll allow it. This is the unnamed fabric from Stoffmühlen, and as you can see, it is slightly askew. It's the same on the back, so there is that. And I didn't do it on purpose, but the collar just ended up being two different colors, and I really like it. I wore this Friday at work and I got so many compliments from the design of the blouse and the fabric, everything. A lot of people were surprised to hear that I'd sewn it myself. To be fair, many of my co-workers didn't know that I also sew, so they were allowed their surprise. And the ones who do know were like, "Did you say you made this yourself, right? You made this." So I think because it's askew both on the front and the back, and the stripes are irregular sized, and the sleeves are, as you can see, different as well, people don't really notice that it's not supposed to be off center, which is a win for me. I don't notice it myself. I mean, I know it, but I wouldn't think about it, and I don't think about it just looking at it. So yeah, it's got a little collar here, and this is going to be tricky, but I hope this works. Can you see the back where I closed it up? I made a button loop out of thread, It's a very simple technique. It takes a bit of time, but you know, very simple technique for if you have a button closure where you don't have an overlap. As this was meant to be closed with ties, it's supposed to just meet but not overlap. And I used a small hanged button. I did it between the one I put in, which is a small metallic flower, and this one. Come on, focus. You can do this, you can know it. Which has a bit more of a bling factor, which I think Hyacinth would have appreciated that. But it is a bigger button, and it is a delicate thin fabric, so I wasn't sure that it would actually stay in place or would try to flip over. So I went with the smaller one, and it's not meant to be hidden, which I hope you can see it at. It isn't hidden, as you could hopefully see. So I wanted it to be more than just... I did consider getting a pearl button, but yeah, I think I prefer this one. Would I make this again? And yeah, you did notice the sleeves, which are full length, but they are on the short side of full length when I move my arms up. When I move my arms down, they're actually full length and they go over a bit. They are finished off with elastic. Yeah, I like it with this in the full length because this fabric is so light and flowy, so just feels right. Would I make it again? Of course I would. So I already cut all the pieces. This is a top color piece out of this fabric. But because this dark green here has a bluish greyish color or undertone, none of my dark green threads matched it. So, I mean, I could have used them. So I'm going to go downtown to pick up thread for it because I cut all the pieces. I interfaced the top colors. The color consists of a top color and a bottom color. Now, to get the color to roll the way you want to and make sure that the stitching or that the undercolor doesn't move up so you can see it on the upper color, the pattern for most, I think most patterns would just have you have an overcolor and an undercolor, mostly because they wouldn't be split like this is. But even if they are split, it would be one, or it would be the same for the over and under color. For this pattern, for the Sotley, the undercolor is just slightly on the outer edges, just the tiniest bit smaller, so that when you match it up, and you still match it up of course, and stitch around it, it'll pull in on itself, and it makes it so much easier to make sure that it doesn't pop out and be visible, which isn't really a problem with this very busy fabric, because I somehow ended up with all of the colors right here where you typically see them pop out. But that isn't an issue. This will be all green, it's just this dark greenish grey with greenish bluish grey, which has these dots in the fabric. And it just feels so nice. So yeah. My plan is when I'm done recording this, I'll upload it or process it for uploading, depending on how long this takes. And I will then head to the shop to pick up the thread, because I really want to get started on sewing this. And it is rather simple when you've constructed the collar and added the collar and the bias binding, which is used to bind the neck edge, and of course the keyhole. Because once you've done that, you sew the flat sleeve to the flat body, and then you just zoom up the sides and out for the sleeve, and then you just have to hem it and add whatever finishing touch to your sleeve that you need. Now I am going to make the green version a bit smaller. I'm still going to put in the elastic band, but it'll probably sit like something like this, and of course be a little bit wider. It won't droop down like that because there's not that much fabric, but it'll just sit like a nice 3/4 length-ish. It's the plan. It might be shorter because there is an option that says it's 3/4 length, which I'm sure it is if you only do the same hem technique for finishing this as you do for the hem, which is just I think it's 1/4 inch. You put it under twice and then just sew around. But I like that it's a bit of a loose sleeve with a gathering. So I made a in between those two measurements sleeve, and we'll see. If it's too short, if it's shorter than I think it'll be, I can always just push it up further into the elbow, or if it's too long, I can just push it up a bit. I mean, there are options. So yeah. That's my sewing. Well, this is, but future sewing. And I do have other plans. I have washed and piled up some of the fabrics along with their corresponding pattern for what I'm going to do next. And I'm a little excited about it. So, yay. That's why I really want to go get a crack at sewing. I mean, if I just get the collar and the side seams done and the bias tape, I mean, so it's ready for assembling, then I'm happy. Because the bias tape and the collar is a bit fiddly. All of this is finished with French seams, which means sewing all the seams twice, and it's not in pattern, but with a delicate fabric, I don't want to have just zigzag the seams. I do love a French seam. Not to do per se, but definitely to look at. It just looks finished and polished. And what more can you ask for? So, let's go on to the knitting, because there has been knitting. Not as much as I would like, but there has been some. Let's just... Last time I spoke to you about my Leclerc, which is now inside out. And I have woven in all the ends, which sounds like more progress than I actually had. I finished the last repeat of the back. I've done the neckline shaping and the shoulder shaping. I've sewn the side seams. And I've done the neck, which is just picking up the stitches, I think purling a row and then binding off. Very simple. So now I need to do the sleeves, which again will be sort of this length, I think, even with the ribbing. So it's not going to be the longest sleeves in the world, but yeah, we can just pop this on over these subtly, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. I hate putting on clothes when I'm wearing glasses. The bun isn't helping either. So yeah, this is what the body looks like. It is slightly oversized, but you don't really notice because it isn't blocked, and I don't know if I'm going to block it, because right now it already is the length that I'd like it to be. When I just see if I can pop this collar down in the back. Oh, I think the bag is too high for that. Oh well, you get the idea. So yeah, I need to knit the sleeves, which should be fairly quick to do. As I said, these won't be full length sleeves, they'll be 3/4 length sleeves. And seeing as the body is only 6 repeats, might just need a repeat and a half, maybe 2 repeats to get down to where I want to start the ribbing, because it does end with some somewhat substantial 2x2 rib. So yeah, looks like I have really round shoulders. I have round shoulders, but they look even more round because it looks like my boobs are, yeah. Anyway, I'm distracting myself wearing all these layers. It is cold today, so layering is nice. The yarn is Kansas Place Grand Merino DK in the Bojo Spreadsheet Bonanza colorway, which I adore. Yes, you can see the color difference between this front and the back and the bit of the front yarn from the front that was left. I find that I don't actually mind. It is what it is. But yeah, if you bought this yarn and you haven't knit with it yet, just be aware that it can... Oh, I was wondering why I had this long end, but it's the end from where I seamed the side. So I seamed up to the arm hole, and it recommended just leaving a nice long piece of yarn in case you need to tighten up a hole or something when you've knit the sleeve. So yeah, I went extra. But if you're going to knit this, use this yarn and this color difference annoys you, It might annoy me more, or it might annoy me, I should say, if it was on the front. Maybe. It's hand-dyed yarn. It's what happens if you don't alternate skeins. I will be alternating skeins for the sleeves just because you got the dark back and the lighter front. So if you do just the one skein, because the two skeins I have left for the sleeves are both, one is slightly darker and more purpley than the other, so it would get the same effect. But yeah, I'll just alternate and be happy that it's just that piece, or the sleeves, the small sleeves that I have to alternate on. So almost done, which is the same as I said last week or last time, but you know, it is almost done. And I did seam it even though I hate seaming. So there is that. Then I knit some more on these little ovals. I've rolled the end of the fold over on the leg all the way up. This is the 6 to 9 month size of the Willems Selebukser by Petit Knit. I think they're called Willems Ovals or something like that on Ravelry. I was around this, just a bit up from this last time we spoke, and yeah, the first skein finished here, and this is about halfway between this marker and where it's supposed to end, so I'm close to having the stockinette part done, and then there's a rib part, and of course the suspenders. The pattern in this size calls for 3 skeins of this, which is Aveta by Filcolana, which is it's a sock yarn, it's a fingering weight yarn. And this is 1 skein. I can't see how I'll use more than 1 skein, 1 additional skein. I could be surprised, but you know, I do have all 3 skeins available to me, so it won't be a problem, but you know, it's just, this is already a lot of knitting for a small boy. How are you going to use more than the double of this? I don't get it. I mean, I might get it if it was a true coverall, but it has suspenders. It's only the front and then a bit on the back, and then suspenders. Yeah, I don't know. I already lined up the next skein because I like to treat this as travel knitting, so I need to get that in my bag and ready to knit on again tomorrow when I get to work. Another thing you've already seen, and I debated not showing you the progress, but you know, all progress counts. This is the Wool and Honey by Andrea Mari in the merino singles from Sysleriet, and it's Rusty, the colorway Rusty. And right now it's just a boring garter stitch in the round. So last time we spoke, I was here, And now we're here. I know. But I did knit 7 rows. I mean, that's something. Still need like another 40, well, more than 40, but you know. I just moved the marker because I was honest with you and told you how little progress I'd done. And now the marker is up to here. And hopefully it'll get more work done. Now, I did say that I didn't knit as much as I would have liked to. Partially because I was making this, but also I can't stop touching myself wearing this because it's just so nice. Even if the fabric was so splitty and alive, I do love the end product. Because apparently I am Hyacinth Bouquet. It's just not just my dad, who couldn't even remember that he picked out this fabric for me, or that he couldn't remember that it was this specific fabric, or that he picked out something for me. I mean, I know we looked at other things and that I purchased other things, but still. He thinks the color is very fresh, or the flowers are very fresh. I'm telling you, my dad is Hyacinth Bouquet. Knowing I had a meeting and not being sure that there would be enough knitting time left in this to actually have that be useful, I cast on a new pattern and there are this yarn ends everywhere. If I just dump things back here, I can show you, I printed the pattern and I don't know if there's a good photo of it. It is by Pip and Pin. It is called Cat Bells. It's printed in black and white. And it's just a nice, not too open jumper. And I swatched, and instead of the 19 stitches to 4 inches I was supposed to get, my gauge is 15 stitches to 4 inches. And it looks like this. I am knitting this out of Black Hill Big Cotton Wool. So it's a, as it says, cotton and wool mix, but it is a, they say Aran weight. It's more skewing to, it's Aran skewing towards bulky, but I really like the color. It's in my stash. I like the idea of a somewhat open jumper that is also not that warm that it'll actually wear into the, maybe not summer, but you know, pathways. So the way you knit this is you cast on one shoulder and knit down, cast on the other shoulder, knit down, cast in stitches between them, and knit down to where the armhole, or for the length of the armhole. Now, instead of doing a lot of math, I did the simple math, which is I figured out with my bust size and not the recommended ease, but with a bit of ease, I figured out which size I could go down to with my or different gauge, and fine. Now, I am using the length of the size that I would have knit if my gauge was correct. That's the only modification. So I am, this goes from, let's see, extra small to 5XL. And it would be helpful if I had printed the page with the measurements. I didn't. But it is intended to wear with maybe 15-20 centimeters of positive ease. So the extra small is 94 centimeters round, and the medium, I think, is like, the extra small is 94, and I think small might be 101, something like that. I don't know the larger sizes, but it's available on the Ravelry pattern page. It's very easy to memorize, and so I have now knit both sides down to the armhole or where the armhole ends, and I haven't woven in any of the ends. I really should, because they're driving me a bit bonkers. I might do that as soon as this finishes recording. And I've done a bit on the body. And I am knitting this on 4.5mm needles. It is cotton, or a cotton mix, so it is a bit hard on the hands, or wrists rather, to knit on, because you're doing, I mean, you are moving a lot of fabric that is that has lace in it, and you're knitting two together and so on, and there's no, I mean, it's a pretty dead yarn because it has the high cotton contents. So yeah, it's not nice to knit on this for hours at an end. Could have made a wiser choice for yesterday's meeting, but it is what it is. And I did work on it a fair bit at the meeting. And I don't know the colorway, but I am guessing that it's something to do with Sunshine or Curry. Their yellowy mustardy colors often are. This is the second skein out of this. Don't know how many skeins I will actually need, because I'm knitting a hybrid size. But yeah, this is the second skein. We've started the body. I tried it on yesterday. It's barely a bralette at this point, but you know, if I can get all of this done, mostly on one skein, I mean it's a bit more than one skein because this has been used quite a bit, well then I think I have more than enough yarn. The pattern is designed for full length sleeves. I'm thinking 3/4 length sleeves. I mean, it's what I love. It's my jam. I think that's everything. So I will leave you be. Maybe do a bit of hoovering and go downtown, get the thread so I can get some sewing done. Alright? Alright, that's the plan. I covered my remote somewhere over here. Organised, so organised. Well, sorry, it is Tuesday, so it won't be a full week until I see you, but I hope you do have a great week. Bye.